As a victim of a mentally ill father, St Dymphna intercedes for those suffering from psychological problems as well as their families. She is invoked as a patron saint of mental illness, anxiety, domestic abuse, runaways, and mental health. In this video, we are seeing the history of our dear Saint Dymphna. St Dymphna only lived for 15 years. Having lived such a short life, there is very little information known about the life of St Dymphna. But fortunately, 700 years after her death, the story of St Dymphna was first recorded in the 13th century by a canon of the church, who was commissioned by the Bishop Guy of Cambrai. St Dymphna was born in the 7th century in Ireland. At this time, Ireland was almost completely Catholic, but strangely, St Dymphna's father was a pagan king. Her father Damon was a pagan king of Oriel in Ireland, and on the other hand, St Dymphna's mother was a devout Christian from a noble family. St Dymphna's mother was known for her piety and her great beauty. Dymphna, just like her mother, was a very beautiful girl. After her birth, Dymphna's mother prepared her for baptism, which was conferred to her by a saintly priest. St Dymphna was baptized secretly without her father knowing. Later, the priest taught little Dymphna her letters along with the truths of religion. St Dymphna grew up a devout Christian with love for God, and when still very young, at age 14, she consecrated her virginity to God, pledging herself wholly to God by a vow of chastity. While everything was going good, suddenly St Dymphna's mother died, and her father King Damon couldn't take it. His grief pushed him to the verge of mental illness. The king, who loved his wife so deeply, began to suffer a rapid deterioration of his mental stability. Seeing that the king was very disturbed mentally, the king's counselors suggested him to remarry. The King Damon agreed to remarry, but only if he finds a woman as beautiful as his first wife. And so the king sent messengers throughout his town and other lands to find a woman of noble family who resembled his wife. After visiting many places, the king's messengers returned, saying that they could not find a woman that resembled his wife. And the evil counselors suggested that Dymphna, his daughter, was the only girl who resembles her mother's great beauty, so that he should marry her. Because the king was not in his stable mind, he only saw his wife in the face of St Dymphna, and the king agreed. When St Dymphna heard of her father's misguided plan, she fled her castle together with her confessor, the priest, and 2 trusted servants. And they arrived on the coast near the present city of Antwerp. Having stopped for a short rest, they resumed their journey and came to a little village named Giel in Belgium. The people there received St Dymphna and the people with her hospitably. The king, in the meantime, having discovered St Dymphna's flight, was fearfully angry. He immediately set out with his soldiers in search of her. Meanwhile, St Dymphna built a small hospital to care for the poor and the sick. Sadly, by using her wealth to help those in need, St Dymphna was found by her father's men. The king finally knew where St Dymphna was, and he came to Giel. He first tried to convince St Dymphna to return with him, but St Dymphna refused. The furious king then ordered that the priest should be put to death. Without delay, his soldiers beheaded the priest. Then the king struck St Dymphna's head from her shoulders and left. Thus, the glorious crown of martyrdom was accorded to St Dymphna in the 15th year of her age, on the 15th of May. The day of her death has been assigned as her feast day. After the king left, the residents collected both St Dymphna and the priest's remains and laid them to rest in a cave. The people did not bury, but just placed the both bodies of the martyrs in a cave. After several years, the villagers, recalling the holy deaths of the saints, decided to give the bodies a more respectful burial. When the workmen removed the cave's entrance, they were shocked to see two beautiful coffins, whiter than snow, that were carved from stone as if by angels' hands. When the coffin of St Dymphna was opened, there was found a red tile bearing the inscription, "Here lies the Holy Virgin and Martyr, Dymphna." And this was the history of our dear St Dymphna. Thank you so much for watching.